In this presentation, we'll look at how shifting roles, uses, and technologies are changing the physical composition of K-12, higher ed, and public library media centers, including what goes into these spaces, what's omitted, and how these spaces are laid out. You'll learn about the concept of universal design for learning, why it's important, and how it applies to the design of modern media centers. You'll also learn how the use of proper materials and methods, including furniture and lighting, can help create future-ready media spaces that are inclusive of all learners. And finally, you'll understand some of the key elements of an accessible, future-ready media space that effectively meets the needs of all learners. The modern media center is changing in profound ways, and one of the key trends that's driving this shift is the move from print to digital materials. Readers are consuming more books and materials in digital format, and teachers are using more digital resources in their instruction. So, some statistics for you to consider. According to the State Education Technology Directors Association, at least 31 states now include videos, websites, and other digital resources in their definition of state-approved instructional materials. That's up from 15 states just 5 years ago. According to Project Tomorrow's annual Speak Up survey, 90% of high school students say they prefer to learn by watching an instructional video on YouTube or another source. And more than half of college students say they wish their instructors would use more digital resources from publishers in their courses, according to an annual survey from EDUCAUSE. Students and the general public are accessing electronic databases and using Google for research. They're reading more books in digital format as well, and they're using electronic textbooks, websites, and videos for learning. These trends are shaping the way librarians build their collections, which in turn influences the design of physical library spaces. At the same time, the role of librarians is evolving as well. While librarians are still responsible for curating books and other physical materials as well as leading traditional literacy programs, they also play a key role in helping teachers use technology effectively for instruction and helping stakeholders develop digital literacy skills. As part of its Future Ready Schools initiative, the Alliance for Excellent Education has put together a comprehensive definition of what it calls the Future Ready Librarian. This individual advocates for student data privacy, partners with teachers to design powerful lessons that lead to deeper learning and critical thinking, builds partnerships within the community to improve learning, chooses and organizes digital resources to help teachers, students, and the public advance their knowledge, designs spaces and opportunities for creativity and collaboration to flourish, facilitates professional learning for teachers and administrators, and much more. As educators integrate more digital resources into instruction, librarians are helping them choose the best resources for their purpose. As students use the internet for research, librarians are helping them navigate the web and make sense of the information they find. As learning becomes more hands-on and collaborative, librarians are providing tools and spaces for this active learning to occur. The design of modern media spaces should support librarians as they carry out all of these tasks. These trends aren't just limited to school media centers. They're also taking place in public libraries. In a survey conducted by Pew Research Center, large majorities of Americans said they'd like their community library to offer programs teaching people how to use digital tools, have more comfortable spaces for people to read, work, and relax, have 3D printers and other tools for making things, and move some books and other collections out of public spaces to free up space for gathering and learning. In short, both school and public media centers are becoming less about housing collections and more about supporting rich, 21st century learning experiences. One way to think about this shift is that libraries and media centers are moving from a transactional space in which their primary services were checking out materials and helping users with their questions to a relational space in which the main services involve building relationships with stakeholders. The purpose is still the same, to share information and deepen users' knowledge, but how libraries do this has evolved. Before the internet, libraries were largely repositories of information. The job of a librarian was to curate this information and help people find what they were looking for. Today, information is available to anyone in the palm of their hand. Technology has democratized access to knowledge, and it has empowered people to create highly sophisticated products. But not all information found online is of high quality, and not everyone has access to the tools or knowledge needed to harness technology's power for creating. Libraries are adding value for users by helping them leverage technology more effectively to create new knowledge or products. In the process, they're evolving from places to store and retrieve information to active hubs for inspiration and collaboration. What does this transformation mean for the physical design of media spaces? As a growing percentage of library collections are replaced by digital resources, media centers are using the space this frees up to support creativity, collaboration, and other rich learning experiences for their users. Media spaces are being used for a wide variety of purposes, including media and digital literacy instruction, professional learning activities, collaborative lesson planning between teachers and media specialists, independent and collaborative research, collaborative group work, and project-based learning, makerspace activities, and much more. One way to design a modern media space that can serve multiple purposes is to create separate zones for accommodating various types of activities. For instance, a media center could have separate, distinct areas for creating, presenting, collaborating, and investigating. Each of these zones would be equipped with furniture, tools, and materials that are appropriate for those respective tasks. The presenting zone might be equipped with an interactive whiteboard and projector, while the creating zone could include makerspace tables with built-in shelving to store materials. Not every type of activity can have its own zone. There simply isn't enough space to create distinct zones for every possible use of a media center. This is why designers should consider using flexible, agile furniture that can be moved around easily to create various spatial configurations, such as movable shelving and tables that can be set up in multiple ways. Using fixed zones to support some activities and flexible, agile spaces to support others will help you design a space that effectively serves multiple purposes. Designers should think about which kinds of activities make the most sense to support with permanent fixed zones and which can be supported with flexible multi-use spaces, and then design the media center around these concepts.